Local, back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
Visit the WOCA website at www.woca.com. The most trusted name in news, Fox News, every half hour, only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala. All right, 18 minutes, make it 19 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this morning. Can you believe it's already 81 degrees? And here's the real part. The heat index, it's already feeling like 101 degrees.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing they figure these things out? I always question that. It's 81, it feels like 101. That means it feels 20 degrees warmer than it really is. Isn't that something? Temperatures today climbing to 94. They say the index by the time we're done with the day is going to feel like 112. All right, let's keep heating things up. We've got somebody else in the studio who wants your vote. He is running for the school board, Marion County School Board, right? Richard Evans is in the studio. He's a management review specialist for the state of Florida. He serves as the Board of Accountancy's chief performance officer. He's a business analyst, a project manager, and he taught Don Browning how to play guitar. We just learned that a second ago. And he is running for the District 2 seat on the Marion County School Board. It's an honor to have you in the studio, sir. Richard Evans. Good morning, Richard. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. Thanks for having me. I guess the first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to thank the Lord. This ride for me, it's been an interesting life, so I really do appreciate every opportunity that I've had. And of course, my wife Tracy, I love her. We've been together now for a couple decades, and our children attend Marion County Public Schools, so it's been a lot of fun.
Nice. Well, good for you.
Thanks.
And have you been a teacher?
I taught mathematics over at Rasmussen College for a couple years.
Is that right? Okay.
I did,
okay.
college math, yeah.
And was there something about our school system that made you say, gosh, I got to get in on this because I'm not happy with it? Or was there a reason for you wanting to be a school board member?
Well, I mean, there's a couple different things that have come up over the years. I have actually pulled my kids out of public school twice and put them into home education programs and then returned them to higher levels. Dealt with at the public schools. I mean, a good example right now is we see the bottom 300, every parent that's listening to this right now, in fact, every person in the community should be just outraged that 8 of our schools made the bottom 300 in reading, and that these kids are going to have to actually go to school for an extra hour a day. The teachers are going to have to make up that time too, and the parents are going to have to reorganize their schedules because Marion County Public Schools was unable to teach our kids how to read.
Who do you blame? You don't blame the teachers, I hope, right?
Well, no.
It starts at the top. Where does it come from? Tallahassee, Washington, D.C.?
Geez, I think you're talking about a conglomerate of issues right there. I mean, do I believe that the federal government should have any role in local education? Absolutely not.
Oh, I'm on that page.
I mean, if we're talking about Tallahassee, Tallahassee develops standards, essentially, and those standards get passed down to the school district. Now, it's the role of the school board then to design the curriculum, and then that curriculum should be passed on to the teachers. But the problem is that these teachers are not getting the independence that they need to teach these curriculums. So what happens is you have a teacher that say from 9 a.m. till 10:30, this is what you're going to teach. From 10:30 to 12 o'clock, this is what you're going to teach. If you don't get through it, then the kid misses it, so they don't get the information that's in the standard. Obviously, they're not going to perform well on a test if they're not getting the information in class, but you're moving on, and so that's the issue right there. Half the information these kids should be learning, they're not learning because the teachers don't have time to teach.
So it's not the teacher's fault, and I've suspected that all along. I mean, Robin and I work closely with the teachers a lot, not all the time, but a lot, and we see it all the time. Do you know, I can't use your time right now to ask you to explain Common Core to me, but it's a very propagandized issue, and here's why I say that, because people who want it will make you believe it's the greatest thing. People who don't want it will make you think it's the worst thing. I'm not smart enough, or I haven't paid attention enough. What is your thought on it? Should it go, or should we have it, or should we change it, or just go back to the old way of doing things?
Well, to be quite forward with you, I don't think there's anybody that's listening right now that doesn't think that the kids should learn certain types of mathematics when they're in school, or that they should learn how to read certain types of writings and interpret certain types of pieces of literature. The issue that we have with the Common Core standard, though, is that there are some other attachments that come along with it, like saying the teachers pay, for instance, or the testing, the long testing, all these tests that these kids have to take. So if you were to ask me, I would say absolutely. I think we need to go back and rethink the way that we're approaching education. Common Core is what I would call the best of intentions with the law of unintended consequences kicking in. At the end of the day, some of these school districts had a real knee-jerk reaction to how the state of Florida developed its standards. And so we do need to get back to developing curriculum at the local level. Absolutely.
Is there any one thing that you would like to see changed in Marion County schools more than others?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd start with professional development. I think our teachers are treated like second-class citizens in Marion County School District. I have quite a few teachers that are supporting me out there right now, quite a few administrators. They do offer professional development. Sometimes it's online, so they're not in person. Other times it's on half days or on Saturdays or something along those lines. I'd like to see us rethink how we approach professional development. I think it would be a real benefit. Instead of having like first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade teachers get together, why don't we have all the third grade teachers from the county get together and come together for their professional development? I mean, they're going to learn more from each other in that meeting than they're going to learn from the presentation at the front of the room, because you have all of this experience for third grade teaching. And we could do the same thing for fifth grade teaching, or perhaps 12th grade mathematics. I do think we need to expand our professional development. An investment in our teachers, that's an investment in our students.
Is teacher pay a part of something you want to address?
Well, one of the issues that we're dealing with right now is that there are some subsidies, some extra income that's given to teachers based on the performance of the school. And so you could, in fact, have a teacher that is making less money to teach, say, at Bellevue Santos, which is not doing very well at all, versus a teacher who's teaching, say, at Bellevue High School, which does much better than Bellevue Santos does in its rating. Yeah, that's a little unfair. I think that all of our teachers should be taken care of the same way, and we should have an incentive, actually, I believe. If we have teachers that want to go into these low-income schools and want to dedicate their lives to helping these kids that have some of the most difficult challenges that most of us could never really imagine, then we should create an incentive to put a good teacher in front of that classroom.
Oh, you talk extensively about board leadership itself on your website, and you are very insightful.
Thank you so much. I think that if a person can develop a vision, and that person could share that vision with other people in such a way as to motivate them to participate in that vision, then we can change the future of Marion County schools for sure.
If you are the only person new on the school board, and you're with the other school board members who are currently on there, do you feel like if you are bringing ideas to the table that you have to sell to them because they're not going along with it, are your negotiation skills with them do you think you'll be able to persuade them to change their minds?
Well, I know that I'm going to be able to persuade them, and I also don't think that good ideas are ever received badly. At the end of the day, the school district exists for the kids. That's the whole purpose.
That's what we want to hear.
Yeah, that's why the platform that we're running on is putting students first. We want to focus on students, we want to focus on teachers, and we want to focus on community. And so when I'm at the board, anything that comes before me, that's my first question. How does this expand resources for our students and give them a better opportunity to achieve their potential? How is this going to ensure that our teachers have better tools so that they can better help our students achieve that potential? And how is this going to be a great return on investment for our community who has generously given so much money to the school district already?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And you also advocate for the open door policy between students and teachers and the school board itself.
At the end of the day, our academic institutions need to be a place where truth exists at all time. There should be freedom of speech. The First Amendment should be protected at its highest order everywhere in the country, but especially inside of our schools. Our teachers and our students should be able to talk to each other. Our teachers and our administrators should be able to talk to each other. And for certain, our teachers should be able to talk to our board members anytime they have an issue.
Address the issue that comes up that we as the citizens of the community feel make art and PE and other things
music
disposable and not necessary, and then you have this outcry from the community saying no, we can't do away with those programs. What are your thoughts on those?
Well, the community's absolutely right, and we shouldn't be doing away with those. We're focusing so much on critical thinking right now. we're forgetting about creativity. You know, I was over at the library on Saturday, and Bronson Mosley was over there, and he was teaching a group of kids cinematography. And these kids were dressing up, and they were playing roles and learning how to use the cameras and things along those lines. So creativity has to be a real big part of a kid's education. So does entrepreneurialism. We got to teach these kids how to think like leaders. And when we're focusing on critical thinking, I think we're missing that opportunity.
Is there anything about the curriculum itself that compromises critical thinking?
Well, I mean, so I would say that the curriculum focuses on critical thinking.
Well, that's a good thing then.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing when you leave out the human side, right? We do want these kids to be creative. When we talk about arts, I'm thinking about theater. You know, I'm thinking about cinematography. I'm thinking about kids learning how to do photography. You know, I'm not just thinking about sitting down and drawing a picture. We need to have a really broad range of opportunities for these kids. Let's expand their clubs. Let's let them learn together and live together.
Well, you have made a great presentation. I hope you feel confident that you did that, Richard. It was great having you in the studio. Give us a website if you have one, and other information so we can know more about you.
I really appreciate that. Please go to www.voteforevans.com. That's FOR, voteforevans.com. You can email me at voteforevans@gmail.com. My name's Richard Evans. I'd really appreciate your vote this August 30th. We're going to make a big difference for our students. I think it's time that we get back to the basics. I was listening to Don Browning talk about common sense. That's something that we need.
Okay. Voteforevans.com is the website. We'll put this video up on YouTube and on Facebook before the end of the day. Richard, thank you for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
We will take a little break. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. Preparation set for the start of the Republican National Convention today amid tight security.
Republican National Convention says the party is ready for the event and the expected protesters.
$50 million in federal security. We've got thousands of cops coming in from around the country. We've got Secret Service.
The convention will be called to order at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland in Cleveland. Louisiana State Police said they're not yet ready to declare that the gunman in yesterday's police ambush acted alone. They do think former Marine Gavin Long was the only shooter.